You've just had your boiler installed and you feel slightly disheartened about the way it looks. At the end of the day, this is an appliance just like a washing machine, fridge, or oven. It isn't going to look that great to a lot of people. The hard truth is gas engineers aren't decorators. Yes, iHeat engineers will keep things clean, tidy and neat, but they can't help the colour of your walls behind your new boiler and certainly can't change the wallpaper behind your old one. We have to cut out boxings, remove tanks, clear out airing cupboards. We find all sorts of wallpapers and paintings from years gone by. This is where we will mount your new boiler on possibly unpainted, undecorated walls in your property that you didn't even know about. To fix this, we're going to cover 3 different ways to make you feel better about your boiler. We are iHeat. We are a next day boiler installation company. Get a quote from the link down below, send us a few photos, and one of our 400 gas safe registered engineers nationwide can be there the very next day to install your brand new boiler. To answer a well repeated question, yes, you can paint your copper pipes. You can paint over them, behind them, next to them, and even around your boiler. Just be careful when you do so. Some paints are rather thick, and if you don't use masking tape, you can actually seal your boiler to the wall where it needs ventilation. With models such as the Worcester Bosch 8000 style or Life, the panels on the side of the boiler actually do come off. So if you've painted all the way to the edges and you've got it all over your boiler, they may stick to the wall and may not come off when it's time for your service. So just be careful, use masking tape, and try not to use thick paint. Painting over the copper pipes won't do any damage, but it will set some engineers running for the hills, as painting copper pipes seems like a crime in the engineer law book. I understand though, I get sometimes in your house you want it to look nice and clean, all white everywhere, or maybe a cool funky colour. I personally prefer the copper pipe look, but I guess it's just me being weird. You could also invest in some pipe covers. These are relatively cheap and affordable on Amazon. They cost around £3 to £5. Get them big enough for your 22mm gas, your 15mm waters. You know, you'd be alright getting them off Amazon. They slip over the top and they blend in with the environment behind. White ones would look nice in a kitchen, but if you have like a black Worcester 8000 style, it would look really, really nice with the black clips. The next option is to build a boxing around your boiler. This can be built in 2 different ways. Number 1 being with MDF or plywood, where you just get 4 pieces, build a box, mount it to your wall with L brackets and call it a day. Maybe paint over it, do it floor to ceiling so it blends in with your walls, just therefore replacing the old boxing that was there with your old pipes for your old boiler. Whilst this is an affordable option, it could end up looking worse than your actual boiler does to start with. Please go back to our reviews of your boiler and check the installation spaces. If you build a boxing that's very tight to the boiler, it can actually ruin the ventilation and prevent it from working, and also our engineers need to get into that boxing to service the boiler every year. I must add that it does need a door. No matter if you make it or your friend makes the boxing, the door must open to at least 90 degrees so you can access it in an emergency, or our engineer can access it for maintenance issues. God forbid anything happens, you don't want to be sat there with a drill trying to unscrew this wooden front off a boiler. You want a door that you can access nice and quick and turn it off in emergencies. Number 2 would be to get a kitchen fitter or joiner to buy the exact same wood and materials used in your kitchen and build their own cupboard around your boiler. Of course, this works if you're in a kitchen. You could get a nice navy one in my kitchen. My brother's gone for like a grey matte colour for his, and I'm a big fan. But if your boiler isn't in your kitchen, you'll have to match it to whatever is in your surrounding area. So in a dining room, you could use the dining table, maybe a coffee table in the living room, or a sideboard. Just match all the wood up and make it look quite funky. I'm sure if you get creative, you can get quite a good look achieved. The final option to make you feel better about the appearance of your boiler is just to embrace it and accept that it is an appliance and it is going to look slightly out of place inside your home. You could of course buy a more appealing boiler like the Worcester Bosch 8000 style, which looks great on any wall in any room. I proudly present mine, but maybe that's because I'm a boiler freak. You might not have the same opinion. I don't seem to get many comments about it being unusual or weirdly placed. All new boiler models this year and last year have been very impressive. The Navians look cool, the Alphas look quite clean, the Valents are always looking good, and of course the Worcester Bosch range is a great to choose from. Throughout this video I've placed cards up here showing comparisons between the Valent range and the Worcester range, so check that out if you haven't yet bought a boiler. My only tip is if you haven't bought a boiler yet and you're thinking about renewing, pick your place, pick where you want it to go, and make sure it's decorated before we get there. That's quite an easy fix too. That is it for this video. Please do comment below with your ideas and what you have got going on in your home. I'd love to see them, so send them to our Instagram if you fancy. Subscribe if you are new around here. We are iHeat. We post weekly on this YouTube channel all good things to do with boilers. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. This has been iHeat.